Welcome back to the VOOV Advisor Consulting podcast, where we dive deep into advisor marketing, talk about marketing trends, updates, and ways to grow your practice. Today, we're talking about how to make people actually care about the content that you put out. A few years ago, I met a financial advisor. Let's call him Mike. Mike had been in the industry for over 20 years, and he knew everything about financial planning. He was sharp, experienced, and could explain market trends in his sleep. But there was one problem. No one was listening. He'd post market updates, long explanations about retirement planning, even tax-saving strategies. And guess what? Crickets. Almost no engagement. No new clients coming from his content. One day, we sat down and I asked him, Mike, who are you actually talking to in your content? He thought about it for a second and said, well, everyone. Anyone who needs financial advice. And that was the problem. His content wasn't speaking to anyone specific. It was just floating out there, hoping someone would find it helpful. But people just don't connect with general advice. They connect with personalized messages that feel like they were made just for them. So why do people ignore generic content? Well, think about it. When you see a post that says, invest for the future, does that make you stop and pay attention? Probably not. But if you saw a post that said, if you're a business owner in your 40s, here's how you can save 6 figures on taxes before you retire, you'd probably want to learn more. That's because the second message speaks directly to a specific person and makes them feel like the content was created just for them. When we talk to advisors, there's one big mistake that they make. They try to talk to everyone and end up reaching no one. If you want your content to stand out, it has to be tailored for the exact type of client you want to attract. So that means if you work with doctors, talk about their biggest pain points and their financial struggles, such as student loans, unpredictable income, and high taxes. If you work with retirees, focus on things like Social Security, healthcare costs, and outliving their money. If you help business owners, talk about tax strategies, exit planning, and building wealth outside of their business. And lastly, if you talk about firefighters, talk about the drop plan, etc. When your content speaks directly to a specific type of person, they feel like you get them, and that's what makes them want to work with you. The second big mistake that we see is advisors think that facts alone will make people listen. So here's the thing. Facts, financial calculators, and canned content is everywhere. Google can give you those facts, and AI can generate a financial plan in seconds. But what AI can't do is share real-life experiences and emotions that make people feel something. Let's go back to my friend Mike. He was posting a lot of facts, market updates, and emailing retirement tips and all that. But then I told him, Mike, instead of just saying why people should invest, tell a story about a client who almost missed their chance. So he did. He sent out a mass email about a couple who almost put off saving for retirement. But after talking with him, they made some changes and now they're set for life. That one email got more engagement than anything he'd sent out before. Why? Because it wasn't just advice. It was a real story with real emotion. And people relate to that. How the brain actually decides who to trust is pretty interesting. It actually comes down to psychology. Now, I'm obviously not a professional psychologist, but I do know that our brains are wired to connect with stories and emotions more than pure information. There's something called mirror neurons that make us feel what we see. That's why when you watch a movie and a character cries, you might tear up too. So when you share a story about a client's success, especially after they've struggled, or even your own struggles with money, your audience feels it. And when people feel something, they remember it. They trust you. And trust is what makes readers prospects and prospects into clients. All right, so how do you actually do this? How do you make sure your content speaks to the right people and actually gets them to care? Here's a pretty simple formula. Number 1, talk to a specific audience. If your ideal client is doctors, make your content for them. If it's business owners, make it for them. If it's firefighters, make it for them. Stop trying to talk to everyone. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have multiple niches, but each piece of content should be tailored for the specific audience. Number 2, tell real stories. Instead of just saying, save for retirement, tell a quick story about a client who almost didn't and how they turned it around. Number 3, talk like a human. No one wants to read a textbook. If your content sounds too formal, people will scroll past it. Write like you'd talk to a friend and teach like you're talking to a 6th grader. Number 4, show your personality. If you love football, mention it. If you're into travel, bring it up. If you like to talk about your kids, post them on your website. Clients don't just hire advisors, they hire people they like. Let them see who you are. Remember this tip. Before you hit post or send on anything, ask yourself this. Would my ideal client stop and read this? If the answer is no, don't post it. Make it more personal or more engaging and more you. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. So if you want to grow your business, don't just share advice, share connection. That's what turns followers into clients. That's what creates your community and your tribe. All right, that's it for today. If this helped you, be sure to send this podcast to another advisor who needs to hear it. And remember, be yourself, tell real stories, and make people care. That's how you win.